Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry we have to spoil all the Wordle, enthusiasm there going on in chat. What a great tool that is. But my name is Will Hall, better known on the internet as Will Hall EXP, and I'm joined by Irons in Front Skura himself, and we are bringing you the SCG Columbus 20K tournament. We start this weekend with 366 players, and we are in round number 4 now. 8 in total. So that means this is going to be the last round for me and Skura before we pass off to the one and only Dom Hardley and Tim Schultz to take you through for the last 4 rounds. But we've got players sat down, ready to go in the feature match area. So we're going to see if we can move down to that shortly. But in the meantime, Skura, what decks are you hoping do well this weekend?
I really expect... Oh, yes. I was about to say Living End. I really want Living End to shine. Against all those the One Ring decks, against the Beanstalk decks. Living End is genuinely really powerful, and I'm really happy to see it at 3-0. Other than that, I'm expecting some preordained decks, and that will be probably Murktide, but there might be some other variations on preordained, maybe like Gift Storm, or maybe like Jeskai Breach with preordained. So yeah, a bit of Cascade, a bit of blue, maybe some aggro deck here and there.
Well, here's one that's been, doing very well in recent times. Jund Sagavan. And it looks like it's all foil. There's always someone in the room with a fully foiled Jund deck. And today that person is Duo Young, bringing it in at 3-0, hitting up the results. Why are we seeing this deck do so well in Modern currently in this meta?
That is a very good question. And I think I think the main reason is that you're low enough that you don't get run over by smaller decks like Burn, but you're big enough that you can actually grind against like Scab. So you're like kind of sweet spot in the middle. You've got the Ren Saga kind of loop going on. You can actually clock the opponent.
It's also got something to do with Urza's Saga, right? Like Urza's Saga lines up pretty well against the Evoke decks. That would obviously be one of the most popular decks going into and after the Pro Tour. Having like a way to, your 1-for-1 removal lines up really well against them. Urza's Saga is something that can't get griefed or fort seized out of the hand, and in itself needs multiple answers to be able to deal with it. But unfortunately here for Young, we're going to see him go down to 5, which is not exactly where he wants to be.
Yeah, you're going down to 5 against a grief deck. So you can't be picky at this point, but this is where the London Mulligan comes in, and I'm really happy we've got that, because you're getting to keep an actual functioning 5. Like in this case, you will probably keep, if it's an unknown, it's tricky if it's an unknown, right? But you're probably keeping like Thoughtseize plus Terminate, double land and something. I think I saw Inquisition of Kozilek, so you're probably keeping that as well.
And the jig is up. One thing Saga decks do have, those they do tend to have like one main deck, relic or something like that can kind of deal with graveyards, which obviously open deck list, that's fine to know about. This is not open deck list, but we do get to have a little see what the jig is up. Here is my hand, says Dylan on the right of your screen. You can take 1 card, one card, but probably the most important card in the hand. Charlotte's Agent going to the graveyard.
And speaking of foils, I really like the actual choice of foils, because we've got the OG watermarked Blood Crypt, we've got the, I think, OG Inquisition. So it's not just that the fact that it's foiled, there is some style and flair to the foiling process, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, I like this in Modern when people like really go deep on their deck and like I'm going to learn this in and out, and that is what Young's managed to do so far with a 3-0 record. Do see a Gigantha there. I'm actually looking to see if it's a serialized one or not, because I feel like if you've got a fully pimped out Jund Sagavan deck, that you're going to have some sort of serialized companion, but it doesn't look like it is. Just one of the new alternate arts. And it's probably foil, let's be honest. You wouldn't come to a tournament with non-foil being a Jund player, would you? That'd just be disgusting, and Jund players don't accept that.
The opponent though shows some beta forest, so he also has got some flair of their own.
And here comes a Bowmaster. 1 point to the face. Going to bring along with it a Orc, a mass token. I always want to say Goblin for some reason. And Tarmogoyf off the top. Hello, 2014 called. They want their card back. And we're going to see it on the battlefield. That is now going to be creature, land, sorcery. So it's going to be a 3-4. We'll take that. Here comes the Boomer Will coming out of it.
The biggest issue for Dylan's hand previously was that it was missing both lands and cascaders, so he has to fix 2 issues at the same time. So he's got the lands, he doesn't have the cascade effects. So maybe Duo can actually be fast enough. 4, 5, 6 down to 11. Well,
What did
it's still a longish clock.
By the way, can we just like give it? Look at these fetch lands that are coming out. Original foils. This deck, and then into the Saga foil basics. Look how beautiful this is. What was the draw for the turn?
Sure. Activate resource nest.
Have no idea what that does, but sure.
I will choose.
It looks like it reveals the top 2 cards and you get to play one of them. It could be either a Saga, which we've hit our land for the turn, or a Sagavan. It doesn't have the $5,000 Ragavans. What a loser! Jeez, imagine having that foil. Gah. Can we get some Fs in chat? Just having normal basic Ragavans in foil. Why even turn up with a fully foiled Jund deck? Yeah.
Well,
But that's a swing across. Go on.
this might be like a Shota Yasuoka situation where he actually wanted to play Jund, and then last moment he said, well, let's go Sagavan. And he just bought them at the venue or something.
We'll see. Puts the 1 card to the bottom. Love the cut. But that is a nice, clean, crisp 7 points damage coming across. Dylan at 10. Looking at, is this lethal? No, 1 point off lethal. But obviously against Jund could be anything. Could be Ren and 6. Could be Lightning Bolt. Could be a Shock Land himself into a 4/4.
Wow.
This is going to feel good on Young side, especially with Terminating Hand. We are going to be going to a game number 2 in short succession with a 5-card hand, or just Ren and 6. Getting back the land to then be able to cast a Terminate. You know what I mean? I like this. Using all your resources in case the worst could happen. Maybe a Force Negation is what we're playing around here to stop this. Fetching up again Urza's Saga foil basics. Like, everything's perfect except for this Ragavan. I love it. I love the words. He literally played it and went Force of Negation check. And played around it perfectly.
Okay. I mean, it's actually unreal that this Jund deck can actually raise living in on a multi 5. It's wild, you know?
Well, it's if they don't have the turn 3, turn 4 cascade, then this is what I would expect. But I think we need to have a big top deck here. Is what I think we need. Top card of Ragavan.
If we do top deck the cascade, we should actually be in a pretty good shape. So.
Oh yeah, same.
Go. Oh, and it was
the top. That's exactly what he needed. Has the man to play with it, has the life to survive. Not playing around anything. I'm going to play it straight away.
And he's fast. Oh my god. Bam, 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 bam.
The upside about this, so the downside about this is if that Ragavan didn't connect, he wouldn't have drawn it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I suppose he would have actually. He could have looked at the top 2, played a land and done it, but still rough.
Oh, don't spoil it. Yeah, let's just say he wouldn't have.
Yeah, this is don't let the facts get in the way of a
good story. Nice.
But now there's going to be a crazy amount of. I think you need to remember to put them all back into play. Oh, so close on a multi 5. Looked like they were going to get there. Didn't manage to. Now is pointing down against. I don't know how much damage that is. 7, 8, 9 plus 4, 13, 17, 23.
So a lightning bolt.
It's
like a lightning bolt.
Oh, come on. Lightning bolt off the top. I'll take that. I'll take that.
And there is no mana to actually eat the food, so there could also be Ren minus K command, Ren minus Stomp.
I'm here for it. The enthusiasm. Let's go.
Oh. Okay, let's go.
Lightning bolt. No lightning bolt. Okay. Is there any random line here? We don't have enough life total to go with. Inquisition. Get a bit more information before we go to sideboard, and then
that's so unfortunate. So close. Very good. Exciting, fast-paced game. I have to say.
I love an underdog story, right? You're telling me someone's going to mold a 5 and gives him a chance of winning like that. I'm all for it. Unfortunately, though, for Young doesn't manage to get there, and Dylan manages to take down game number 1. So now we can get a little look at their hands and see how they're sideboarding, what they're bringing in, what they're bringing out, what they even brought this weekend. Because remember, it is a closed deck this tournament. Looks like a couple of relics. Anything else we like here? It has a look at the Besagers, look at the E's. No chalices, which is something.
Yeah, no chalices. Yeah, just Nile Spellbomb, another discard spell, and that's it. Terminate just in case.
Yeah, let's have a little look at this deck a little bit more. Look at the little value. So there's there was the main deck Spellbomb, which not unsurprising in these saga lists. I think it might be Bowmasters we're taking out. Is that what I saw? It was definitely a black card that was coming out.
I think you want to cut removal before you cut additional threats like this. Oh, Fatal Push makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, not many good targets for that one.
Because like Bowmasters is Unholy Heat maybe as well. Yeah. Because Bowmasters is like it's a clock. It punishes the opponent for cycling, so it can get those chip damage in early.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point, actually. The cycling thing is not free. We're seeing
and
the
Yes.
If you Nile Spellbomb the opponent to actually cut them off of an early living end, it means they have to spin their wheels longer, and at that point Bowmasters is even better because they're cycling even more, right?
So like leaving in the Haywire Might as well. So that's a hedge to things like ley lines. What other sort of is that the only thing? That's the only thing I can think of is what else would be coming out of a living end sideboard that's like an artifact enchantment that you bring in against?
Well, either ley line basically of the Void and the White Ley Line Sanctity. Because Ley Line of Sanctity would turn off your Nile Spellbomb and discard. So yeah.
I wonder who's commentating our match.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we're just changing the name there again. It wasn't Young, it's Yang. Close enough for Anu, not for Chat. Chat, you're always right. We want to call the players by their proper names best we can. So yeah, there we go. Especially when you got a fully foiled Jund deck, and there's a good chance we're going to be talking about it and mentioning your name quite a lot. So
I also heard one of the players say that someone's commentating our match right now, which was pretty cool. And that's all because of thanks to the cams and the microphones we've got at the players' table.
It's all because of one man, and that is, of course, Anu, bringing you this beautiful content that you all love to see and enjoy. And we need to support this man and protect him at all times. So if you haven't hit that follow button, you need to hit that follow button. If you've got an Amazon Prime, you need to throw it on this channel. If you don't have an Amazon Prime but you'd like to help in any way, you can subscribe. Remember, it is September on Twitch. That means 30% off all subscriptions. So you know what I mean, save yourself a little bit of money if you're going to do it any month. This is a great month to do it, as both players are off to the races with a turn 1 fetch into a Fortsies. It's only probably about $300 worth in those free cards alone, and it's going to reveal a couple of lands, a couple of cyclers, a living end, and a brazen borrower.
It's a really good hand to have against a discard spell, because as the Jund player, you don't really want to discard anything, or rather you don't really care, right? Because you could discard Bone Crusher because it's castable, you could discard Brazen Borrower because it's disruptive, or you could discard Living End in anticipation of a Grief. So you've got 3 options, but none of them is really that strong.
So Brazen Borrower is telling me that there's basically potentially a turn 2 Tarmogoyf that will survive against the shock effect from. Man,
nice.
I'm good at this.
Oh, you're good.
Here comes the cycler. It's going to be a 3/4. Talk to me about Tarmogoyf. For people that aren't boomers and didn't play Magic in 2014, talk to me about this card.
Yeah, so Tarmogoyf is a 2-mana creature. It's 1 and green for an X and X+1, or rather star and star +1. And it gets an increase in size depending on the types of cards in all the graveyards. So base, it's 0/1, and then there is a Thoughtseize in the graveyard, sorcery, so it's 1/2, and the land, it's 2/3, and a creature, it's 3/4. And in this particular deck, you've also got artifacts because of Saga tutor targets, and the Saga itself is an enchantment, so that's another type. There is maybe a Planeswalker, or certainly there is Red and 6, so that's another type. So it's a 2-drop that can be as big as a 6/7, which is very big if you ask me. And very recently we got a new card type to grow Tarmogoyf, which is battles.
Okay, right. This is a good line. This is interesting. This is putting the pressure on Dylan now, right? He needs to cycle, and he needs to have the Cascade spell this turn. Because if that Saga manages to trigger and go find a 1-drop or less from his deck, there's a good chance it's going to be Graveyard Hate. And once that's on the battlefield, it's going to be super hard for Dylan here. So we see the cycle. Does he have it? I can't.
Doesn't.
Yes,
Oh,
he
he does.
The exact turn that he needed to be. So this is going to be. This is what, 19 odd power? No, 18 power.
You also have to count Shardless, and
Oh, yeah.
you also destroy the Tarmogoyf. This is huge. You also get a food, 2 foods, right?
Yeah, that might come relevant later on. But more importantly is this damage on the battlefield. Now, over on Yang's side, do we go for more Graveyard Hate here, or do I have to get something like a Shadow Spear to give myself any hope of getting back in this game?
So this is really, really cheeky, but sometimes you just start turn 1 Saga on the play to be able to find that piece of disruption on the draw. And if Yang had started turn 1 Saga, he would have still played turn 2 Tarmogoyf, although the clock would be much slower. But I kind of tempted to think that he should have began with turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Goyf.
If he had that option, yeah, I think we see it a lot happen in Amulet Titan, right? Like they'll start with a Saga because it's so important in their matchups to have a turn 1 Amulet. In this matchup, it's so key to have some sort of hate before turn number 3 when they can go offline. And this is the reason why. If it's not in my opening hand and I've just got Saga, I basically got to take the hit and be like, well, this Saga is my turn 2, turn 3 piece of hate.
Yeah, but turn in this case it's turn 4, right? Which is just too late. Okay, why am I? Woof.
Yeah,
had he? Well, technically, we're not sure that the Saga was in the opening hand because he could have drawn it in the first draw step and then played.
Saying it, yeah.
Yeah.
Still going to be an absolute uphill battle for Yang here to get back into this and survive. There is so much power on the other side of the battlefield. It's actually crazy scary, right? So we've got the Ents, which are 5/7s, so that's 10 power. We've got the Agent itself plus the Fly plus, so it's 18 power on the battlefield to Yang's 13 life. Shadow Spear in hand, that makes it understandable why that wasn't the one searched up. Then just land Ragavan, or Blockavan, as we're going to call it here. Didn't even look, just turned them sideways. Go.
The pace of this match is unreal. I mean, as if I was watching like Yasuoka versus LSV. It's just like blink and you'll miss it.
I love that. I love like fast players, just in everything. You know what I mean? Like it's like play like you got somewhere to be. And you got somewhere to be. You know what I mean? Maybe he's hungry. Maybe he needs to get some lunch in. The quicker he can get this game done and over with, the better. And he's looking super likely that there could be a chance that's going to be in the next couple of turns. Moving to blocks over on Yang's side. Jumping on each of these two will result in a little bit of life gain.
This one, I think, side you too, right?
Yeah, but you gain enough hit. Why am I close? That's 6.
Yep, 6 damage is going to come across.
Go ahead.
Leaving Yang at 7, but 2 constructs. So remember, both 2/2s.
This is really tricky. Yeah,
Does have a Terminate. Does Terminate, Shadow Spear do anything?
It's tricky. Street Wraith is it's unblockable. Brazen Borrower has flying, so that's 6 damage right there. Oh my god.
Oof. I'll respond. Bone Crusher Giant.
That was fast.
Yeah.